Hello, just a quick video really. There's a few things I want to discuss. I had a problem at work recently. I was on my tea break and thought, okay, try to chat to my colleagues, try to interact, bond, share a joke. Seems reasonable to me, Only I decided to make a satirical joke about the government and, pardon me, cuts. And I said perhaps it would be best if we armed the Conservative government and had them hunt the poor. The upshot of this would be that there wouldn't be any more poor people and everyone would have money, so there'd be less of a problem. And we could televise this to entertain the middle classes. They could vote in by phone on who they would like to help. They could vote for some of the hunters, giving them better guns or that sort of thing, or perhaps the hunted to give them armour or indeed weapons themselves to make it a bit more interesting, And I'm aware that humour is a subjective thing. I thought this was funny, but some other people might have just found it offensive. One of my co-workers said, "Oh, you're so violent. Why are you always saying these violent things?" And I thought, well, it was a joke. Surely it was extreme enough for you to realise it was completely ridiculous, and you wouldn't think that was a serious suggestion. The implications for the insurance industry. The amount of paperwork necessary would be ridiculous. But there was another chap who piped up, and he said, "Oh, you sound like Nick Griffin." I thought, well, call me stupid, but I've never thought that satire on perceived governmental class prejudice is the same as inciting racial hatred in the community. But there we go. This guy's a Jehovah's Witness, so as someone who's opposed to blood transfusions and would rather see someone die than break a law that's in the Bible, I don't think he has any right to take the moral high ground. That said, I went to Jehovah's Witnesses barbecue at the weekend, and it wasn't very good. How was I to know BYOB is bring your own blood, right? But one of the other things that annoys me, sorry to kind of harp on about Jehovah's Witnesses, but this is something that's been bugging me for quite a while now, is their opposition to homosexuality. They say, oh, it's wrong, it's awful, it's an abomination in the eyes of the Lord, and all of that sort of stuff. And so for him to say that I sound like Nick Griffin is kind of odd, because the BNP, apparently the official BNP position on homosexuality is it's fine behind locked doors. As long as we don't have to see it, it's fine. But in public, we don't like it, and we don't encourage the promotion of it. So, essentially, the BNP don't go as far in their opposition to homosexuality as Jehovah's Witnesses. I'll let you draw your own conclusions there. In fact, Jehovah's Witness came to my house recently, and I argued with him about this, and I said, well, things like, if God hates gay people so much, why does he keep creating them? If he's got all this power that religious people tell me he has, can he surely just make it so they don't exist in the first place. You know, that homosexuality as a concept isn't allowed to exist by God. And they've never given me a satisfactory answer on this. It's just a woolly kind of thing. And the guy seemed a bit miffed by my tolerance for homosexuality. You know, there seems to be a taboo if you identify as heterosexual. Oh, well, what do you mean you support gay men? Well, it's called not being a dick. You know, but there we go. And one thing he actually said to me, this particular chap, was, if tolerance of gay men is progress, give me what's primitive. So I raised my sword, and I was about to cut off his ear. Then I remembered that that's not what Jesus would have wanted. But then I remembered Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe that Jesus is God. So I raised my sword and I just cut him in half. And his son ran away crying. So I ran after his son, dragged him back to my house, and then stabbed him to death. Because, you know, in terms of murder, no one wants witnesses, do they? And I thought, well, it's okay, all right, to commit the murder of Jehovah's Witnesses in that manner, because they don't believe in hell. So I'm not going there. Cheers.